Good morning, welcome back. So today is a big day. I'm taking Betty down to get a spa day done. Gonna have the paint buffed and washed, paint buffed, and I've got some pieces to put onto it. I've got a sticker to put on the door, and then I put one of the decals on it, and I'll show you that right after here. But this is gonna be a real quick one, and I'm not gonna film the buffing on it, detailing on it, because the friend of mine has a YouTube channel as well, and I'm not sure if he's going to film it or not. So anyway, I'll do a walk around afterward, and then give you a little update on an oil leak that she had. And I think you can see it here. For those of you that have dealt with it before, you know which one I'm referring to. And then so what else? Then after that, after it's all cleaned up, and then I'll give you a walk around on that, and that for the most part will be done. And I've got a couple odds and ends left to do, and then I've got a little bit of the interior put back together too. So for now, that's where I'm gonna leave it, and then I'll show you the putting the decals on it last night, or the emblems on it from last night, and then I'll pick back up when I get the spa day all done. So I'll be right back. One of the jobs to do on my to-do list is put the FL70 emblem back on it. When I first got the truck, I don't know if you've seen it in any other videos, it was crooked. So it was either done at a body shop or at the factory, I'm not sure, but it bothered me enough, so I pulled it off, and I've got double-sided emblem tape on it, and I've already cleaned it with rubbing compound, just the turtle wax rubbing compound, and got rid of the oxidation, and then I cleaned the surface with alcohol, and I just did the little area, so I thought I'd take you along for the adventure on it, and go from there. Not a scientific way. I've done the other side already, and I just matched up to the lines. So, and it is 7 3/4 inches off that bracket, or off that body line there. So that's where I will put this one. And then I have another emblem to go on to that I will show you here in just a second. As soon as this one's on. See how well this works. That works pretty good. Dark. Let me get a light. Okay. Let's see if we get this one to go. So on the corner. Okay, I'm happy with that. So there's that one. It's got the black background with the chrome letters. And it looks straight compared to what it did when I first got the truck. So now, the next one, a little more alcohol on it just to make sure there's no grease from my fingerprints. And then wipe it down, let it dry. You can see this. And to top it off, let's put one of these on there. Should do that. Grab the light. Bottom is stuck, so let's pull tape off. The backing off and stick the rest. Just like that. Looks pretty straight to me. There you go. So now, pull the tape off. Presto. I know, not real exciting, but it was one of the jobs I wanted to do to it, so I wanted to straighten the FL70 badge and then put the Cummins decal back on, or put a Cummins decal on it. So that's it, move on to the next job. Just a little update for you on the spa trip that I took Betty over to. I took the truck over there and then we started in on the engine hood, and it's actually he's got a really cool buffing kit. I used to detail cars back in the late 80s, and things have changed a lot since then as far as chemicals and the pads from the buffers go. So he's got a really cool 4-step process. And we started working on the hood, and because of how bad the paint is oxidized, it's actually just the top of the hood. I tilted it forward, but because of how bad the paint is oxidized, kind of figured out it was going to be about 2 days to do just the cab and the doors and the hood. So, and I didn't realize he had a rental tractor that he was doing work for the in-laws on their farm property. So, just decided to wait until this winter when both of our schedules free up. So I would take you out there and show you, but there's there is morning dew all over everything, the water and everything, so you can't see the difference on it. So so the job I'm going to run out and do now is align the steering wheel on it. Last year I changed the leaf spring, so it needed alignment because it was all over the road, and a friend of mine mentioned getting a 4-wheel alignment, and he's a Class 8 truck driver. You'll get to meet him in the next video, but they only did a 2-wheel alignment, and and I asked them to change or to check the alignment on the steering wheel because I had changed it, and they didn't do that. So I'm gonna try finding a big parking lot somewhere and center the steering wheel on it and get that fixed. And then I'm gonna run it by the CB shop and have them take a look at the CB. It's not working for some reason. I can get weather channels out of it, but nothing else. And what else? That's about it for right now. I'll get those two things done and see what else I can find to get in trouble with after that. So anyway, I'll check back with you in a little bit. Alright, here's the normal position that it's in when I'm going straight down the road. So I'm gonna use the steering wheel puller on it, lift it up, and then clock it over, and then drive it a little bit more and see if it changes it. And then I'll do that a couple times, and I'll come back when it's all straight. I didn't do the whole process on straightening out the steering wheel. It just depended on the crown in the road of which way it went. So I got it as close as I think it needs to be, and then as I drive it, we'll see if that's actually where it needs to be. I've made a couple marks on the steering shaft and then the steering wheel, and so I will check it. I ran the CB over to the shop. If you guys live in the Pierce County area and you have a CB that needs work, Truck City CB, I'll put their link down below. They've been doing work forever on the CBs for trucks and whatnot. I've had this CB, gosh, probably since the late 80s when I was doing the four-wheel drive stuff in the Dodge trucks, and I kept it all this time and then just put it in the truck. So there was some soldering joints inside the CB that ended up cracking, and that's why I was not receiving anything. But the guys over there found the problem and they fixed it. And anyway, it's back on the truck and working now. So I'll put the link down below. But like I said, if you guys are in the Pierce County area, look up Truck City CB and give them a call. Ask for Robert, and he'll take care of you. Let me run you around the rest of the truck while it's still light. I've got the battery box on, or the lid I should say, and then I think it's light enough for you. And then toolbox is in the back if you can see it. I had to put mud flaps because the front tires were throwing up rocks onto the rear fenders. So, and then I've got a little bit more of the interior put back together. For the most part, it's, oops, wrong one. It's all together. I've got floor mats in it now. I'm hoping you can see this. I put the console in it for paperwork and whatnot, and then I've got an inverter in it, and I've got the gauges in it. I don't know if you can see that. And then there's the old trusty CB and the new fuse cover. And what else? I think that's it for the most part. So, oh, and there was something else I was going to show you. Let me see if I can find it. I'll just do a real quick walk around. And then I put the not for hire stickers on it, and a friend of mine buffed the door because I had to get all the oxidation off of the door in order for the sticker to stick to it. And then you seen a little bit ago that I put the emblems back onto it. And I don't know if you can see it, probably not. Anyway, just the top of the hood has a nice shine. If you can see the line where he stopped with the buffer, but we'll go over that another day, probably over the winter. And then did the emblems on this side. I kind of like I don't know if you can see it, the FedEx sign. It's shiny paint here, and then the dull oxidized there. So I kind of like that. So let me see if I can find that paper. When I was cleaning out the dash console of the truck, I found some paperwork from the original delivery date. It's really faint. I can see it, but I don't know if you can. The release date was August 4th, 2002. That's when it was originally delivered to somewhere. Freightliner LLC, a Daimler Chrysler company, so it is of the Mopar family. And they show the date, or the weight, Let me see, received from, oh, okay, Holly something. I think that's the where the manufacturer is. Anyway, it shows the VIN number, it shows American Freight, that could be FedEx's original. It shows fire extinguisher inside, warranty book and customer package inside, reflector kit, and something else. But the big thing is, it shows the front axle weight. I don't know if you can see it. Front axle weight shows 5860. The rear axle weight shows 4440, and then the total combined weight is, looks like 10,300, and then it shows oil, water, and approximately 15 gallons of fuel. Now I know that I am at a quarter tank right now, and that's roughly about 20 gallons, I'm gonna guess, but I'm gonna weigh the truck, and I know it's gonna be more, but it's just kind of cool to find this in there. So I will keep this and pass it on to the next, or I'll just leave it with the truck. I don't know if I'm gonna sell the truck at a later date or what. So anyway, it's kind of cool. And then something else I wanted to go over on, I mentioned the tappet cover gasket, or I showed the gasket on the wall. I had an issue with the tappet cover, and I even replaced one. This is the original that I replaced, thinking that might have been the issue. But the blue one is a Felpro gasket. I'm not knocking Felpro. I've used Felpro forever. Just for whatever reason, when you squeeze the material, it's definitely different. This is the original one. I took off another tappet cover plate that I had, and even though it's X amount of miles and X amount of years old, there's a definite difference between the two. When I first put the gasket on, it was leaking in the toward the driver's side, very bottom, and I guess that's typical on them. So I picked up another gasket on the way home, and then I took everything apart and I changed it, and trying to be super careful with it, and then it blew the front side out just behind the injection pump before I got everything put back together. And at that point I was frustrated, and doing a bunch of reading online, people said no, use the Cummins gasket. So I ran down to Cummins, picked up one of their gaskets, and I used a little bit of aircraft sealer on it. I used that on the Cummins one, and then so the next day it was still there. I did not wipe it off, and so it's, other than that, I didn't use anything. Just whatever was the residue was left over on the engine block. I wrapped this around the tin for the Cummins side plate, bolted it on, and there has been no problems with it since. So I don't know what the difference is. They call this a silicone rubber, Felpro does, and then, like I said, you can feel the difference in it. I'm guessing it's just a rubber, and I think the silicone in it, the slippery stuff, is what's getting it to squeeze out. So I learned my lesson there. I won't be using a Felpro on that one. So, and then one last thing I wanted to address is, one of the guys mentioned in the comments a few videos back about the cruise control. I had the ECM turned on for the cruise control to work, and I was led to believe that turning the switch on for the cruise on the ECM and then putting the switches in the dash would make the cruise control work, and I can say that is false now, because the light does come on and there's probably other stuff missing. I called the dealer, and they mentioned they have to plug it into their computer and activate the cruise control and see what kind of codes it's what it throws. So there is other pieces missing, and so that's something I'll have to look. And of course, like everybody there, the one getting a bug is bugging me. The Freightliner that I've got local here, they're it's in Auburn. Anyway, they told me they had 100 trucks waiting already, so it'd be a little while before I can get in. So anyway, other than that, just those couple things. I'm gonna run the truck by the weigh scale tomorrow and get a weight of it, and just out of curiosity. And I think that's gonna wrap this video up. I want to get this one posted so I can move on to the next step. So with all that, I had a productive day, even though the video seems kind of short. I got a lot done, and was able to give you a walk around of it. It's getting closer to being done. I got recharging the air conditioning tomorrow, and I'm going to run the truck by weigh scale just to get the axle weights and compare them to what that paperwork says. I know it's going to be heavier because I have the flatbed and everything on it, and anyway, just be kind of cool to compare them side by side. And so anyway, that's going to wrap this video up, but I appreciate you guys watching. Hit that subscribe button, and I will get the next video up as soon as I can. Thanks a lot.